Hey guys, and welcome to another Update 17 video, taking a look at the final new non-arc-wing weapon released with Echoes of the Sentient, another offering from the underwater sea labs of Tilregor, the torpedo gun, the Kulstar. The Kulstar is another new weapon to be added to the market, and the blueprint can be bought for credits. The build costs, however, are not at all small, with it requiring 2 tellurium, 4800 cryotic, 3600 plastids, and another market weapon, the Kraken. So what do you get for this fairly high build cost? Well, you get a weapon that will do 375 pure blast damage per shot, making it one of the highest damaging secondary weapons per shot. In addition to that, for each torpedo that is fired, including that multi-shot, it will drop 3 little bomblets, either when the torpedo hits something and explodes, or if you manually detonate it using the alternate fire button. These little bomblets also do additional damage, although currently I'm not 100% sure just how much each of the bomblets actually do. In addition to that, the Kulstar has a negligible critical chance of just 5% and a 200% multiplier, as well as an average 10% status chance. Although, to be honest, the status chance does seem to be a bit deceiving, since it almost seems as each of the bomblets also has that same status chance. So really, each shot has more than a 10% chance to actually proc something. In addition to that, with the use of Mag's bullet attract, it will pull those little bomblets into the attract, further increasing the single target damage at the loss of the mini AoE that the bomblets provide. But other than that, this does have a bunch of downsides. Primarily is one that is a huge problem, and that is self-damage. It is ridiculously easy to blow yourself up with this. I've lost quite a few revives leveling this thing, and I doubt they'll be the last ones I use while working with this. It also uses sniper ammo, the rarest of any of the ammo drops, and with its fairly decent fire rate you can run into ammo problems fairly quickly, although it does so much damage that losing one slot for mutation isn't the end of the world. The travel time on the torpedoes can also feel excruciatingly slow as well, really meaning you have to lead your targets quite a bit, and this limits it to being a close to medium range weapon, or in other words, danger close. Okay, so let's move on to starting to mod the Kulstar. Now it comes with a D polarity as standard, so as you can imagine we get that right off the weapon, and we go, well, with this build I went with 7 former, I went with 3 Vs and 4 dashes. Now we've got a few mods remaining the same between all 3 of our builds. We've got Hornet Strike for damage, Barrel Diffusion for multi-shot, Lethal Torrent for a little bit more fire rate as well as more multi-shot. We've got Prime Pistol Mutation, which I will talk a little bit about later. And on every single one of the builds we have got the Primed Heated Charge mod. Now this is probably because the 165% is just so good that it deserves to be on every single build. Now in terms of the actual builds themselves, we are going with full elemental builds. We're not really going to try and boost the status, although at 25% it's not exactly bad. So for the Grineer, we're going to go Radiation Viral, so we've got Deep Freeze and Pathogen rounds for that viral damage, Convulsion and Primed Heated Charge for the radiation. Now for the Corpus, we've got Deep Freeze, Convulsion, and we've got Jolt in the wrong polarity just to further boost that magnetic damage, and Primed Heated Charge once again for that heat damage. And in the Void, Convulsion, Pathogen rounds, and Jolt, or you can obviously use the Poison one as well, which is Pistol Pestilence, and then you can go with Primed Heated Charge as well for the corrosive and heat damage. Now obviously if you're running the corrosive projection build, you can obviously change this out, change Convulsion for Deep Freeze, and then you've got Viral and Heat for your corrosive projection Void build. So do I feel it's worth the time, effort and former put into maxing it? And the answer is in 2 parts. Personally, I don't think it's worth it. The danger in maxing this weapon, quite frankly, is too damn high. Even if you miss yourself with that initial blast, the bomblets can easily finish you off, especially if you fire on the move and run through where the torpedo exploded. Solo, it costs you far too many revives, and in groups your teammates quickly tire of picking you up when you inevitably blow yourself up. Not only that, but even if you don't manage to kill yourself with the bomblets, if you're running magnetic and get the magnetic proc on yourself, removing your own energy isn't fun, or removing all of your own health with the toxic proc. I never liked the Angstrom, to be honest, or really any weapon where you can actually blow yourself up, so the Penta or the Ogris. So at least for me, it's not worth putting the former into. If you like the Angstrom, however, then you may enjoy the Kulstar. It doesn't have that charge mechanic or the outright raw damage that the Angstrom does. However, the bomblets do seem to make up for that somewhat, in which case the weapon could actually be worth the former for you guys, as I would actually quite imagine you guys liking this. Now, in all honesty, you could get away with using one less former by using normal ammo mutation instead of the primed. I only use the prime more for my OCD of needing everything maxed more than anything else. The primed ammo mutation is pretty much overkill, and the standard one will do the job just fine. In addition to that, if you are cloaked, so for example Invis from Loki or Smokescreen from Ash, the Kulstar will not damage you at all. However, I am 99% sure that that's a bug and will be fixed as soon as possible. So the Kulstar, dangerous but effective, fantastic damage, fairly fun to use, at the cost of fairly frequent need to use revives. This is a weapon that will divide people as to whether it's any good or not. I'm going to say it's a good weapon, but I simply do not like it at all. For me, it's not worth the former. However, others might disagree. As always guys, stand by for more Update 17 content. I have a fun Tower 4 defense run with Tactical Potato coming up soon, as well as more build videos, so I shall see you in the next episode.